The Victorian and Edwardian eras, which saw tremendous industrialization, technological development, and social transformation, are known as the two of the most revolutionary times in British history. These two periods were a time of great cultural richness and diversity, with art, literature, and music flourishing. Rare picture of a black female Union soldier 1862. Portrait of Awaiu, Pretty Flower, of the Seneca Nation, 1908. Photo by J.L. Blessing. Unidentified African American family prairie settlers from the 1880s. Portrait of Hattie Tom, an Apache Native American, 1899. Two ladies making a snow lady. This photo was originally printed in Strand Magazine, Volume 3, 1892. A kitty basking in the beard of Louis Coulon, a French metallurgist, taken in 1890. This photograph shows a young mother, exhausted from spending hours making matchboxes, a pile of which can be seen on the table. Young English Victorian lady posing with her pet cat, see 1890s. Unknown Victorian woman in a more unusual pose at the time, having a good ol' chuckle. Group of debutante ladies, Washington, D.C., circa 1910, colorized by Olga Chernova. Portrait of a cat entitled Pussy, photographed by Edward and Henry T. Anthony and Company. Circa 1869 to 1875. Vintage studio portrait of girl A with cat, circa 1913. Amelia Van Buren with friend, photographed by Thomas Akins, late 1880s, Metropolitan Museum of Art, Photography. Portrait of actresses Maude Adams and Ethel Barrymore, taken in New York, circa 1897. Alice Doherty, the Minnesota Woolly Girl, poses with her family in a typically dour Victorian photograph circa early 1900s. A young Victorian lady photographing a mirror selfie. Circa 1900. Portrait of another Victorian Batwoman, shown as Marie Schleinzer, taken at a Delcourt Atelier, Vienna circa 1890. A female mason perched high above Berlin, circa 1910. Unknown Victorian lady pulling a face for the camera. A Victorian lass with rather long hair in a fashionable pic, see 1890s. Blackbirds, a group of men and women sitting in a fallen tree. Photograph by Louis Milton Thiers, c. 1910. A woman dressed up as Batgirl in 1904, 35 years before the creation of Batman in 1939, and 57 years before the creation of Batgirl in 1961. A Fine Day in London, photographed by Hector Colid, c. 1898. Portrait of actress Evelyn Nesbit, photographed by Rudolf Eichmeyer, Jr., 1901. A couple of Victorian travelers looking rather dandy taken around 1890s. Blanche Allardy excited circus crowds in the late 1890s with her superior equestrian abilities. Mother and daughter watch a tall ship navigate the Thames assisted by a steam tug, London, California 1880, Sunderland Antiquarian Society. Touching and final photograph of a young girl, who became terminally ill and shortly after was taken. New Woman, a self-portrait, 1896, photographed by Francis Benjamin Johnston. Female Japanese school students, they were wearing Edo period uniforms consisting of a hakama, skirts worn over a short-sleeved furisode kimono, in the Tokyo Prefecture, Meiji era, Imperial Japan, c. early 1910s. Portrait of Victorian Birdman in Norway, Robert Collett, 1842–1913, taken circa 1910. Otter Magazine 1890s, an Inuit man warms his wife's feet. Greenland. The smallest shop in London, occupied by a cobbler, at 4, Bateman Street, Soho. The shop is 6 feet long, 5 feet high and 2 feet deep, the rent £3 a week, it has been occupied for over 20 years. c. 1910. Vintage selfie photo set with unknown female couple either as lovers or possibly sisters, due to likeness, circa 1900. Rather creepy Victorian Humpty Dumpty adaptation from Alice Through the Looking Glass circa 1873.